Hello, everyone. Well, it turned into a pretty stormy night across the eastern half of the state, and unfortunately, though things have quieted down for now, things are going to get stormy again this evening, and then for some, again on Saturday. So, a lot going on. Let's talk about your full weekend forecast, but I got to start with this morning. Some isolated showers still in the far eastern part of the state. I'm going to leave in the chance for isolated showers for a few more hours. No more storms out there. That's all moved over into Iowa. And it's just for a couple more hours in the east part of the state. Notice a lot are going to have a dry morning, but I got to mention the chance still for some showers, Omaha, Lincoln. But just for a couple more hours, because look what happens when we get to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's going to be a lot of sun across the state. It'll take a little bit longer for the clouds to break up in the east. But a very warm day for the entire state. We're talking about high temperatures from the mid 80s at the coolest to some spots reaching the low 90s for highs. The wind is still a big story. Now, for the eastern part of the state, gusts are going to be around 40 miles per hour. But as you get into the central part of the state, those gusts are probably going to be around 50 miles per hour. And for the panhandle, I'm not ruling out some gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And this is without any storms popping up. Just real windy this afternoon. So not able to enjoy those warm temperatures quite as much with that kind of wind around. So when does the next severe threat begin? 6 o'clock this afternoon is when the first storms could start to pop up. Notice a lot are still going to be dry, but this is when the chance begins. Look what happens after 6 o'clock. That blossoming of activity, particularly in the central part of the state, between North Platte and Kearney is where I'm most concerned about some supercell thunderstorms popping up. And these supercell thunderstorms could produce golf ball size hail. They could produce a tornado, not ruling that out, and damaging wind. I do think once we get past 9 o'clock or so, the supercells are going to try and work to the east, but not have much success. They'll probably fizzle out. But what we are going to see is a line of storms develop. Notice just to the west of North Platte. And so it is possible that you could get a supercell thunderstorm and then a line of storms will work over you later in the night. Notice this is midnight, that line taking shape. The thing is, it's going to be a brief window where this line is going to be capable of still producing some damaging wind and hail. Notice at 3 a.m. already, it may just reach broken bow before it starts to fizzle out. It looks like right now, the line, this is the latest computer models that we have, could fizzle out even before it reaches Kearney. That is a possibility. There's still an outside chance it could hold together a little bit longer, so we're just going to have to monitor the latest trends. But I like what I'm seeing right now, and that line may not last very long. And the biggest threat may be those supercell thunderstorms, because look at 6 a.m., probably just a few leftover showers. So the greatest threat is certainly during the evening hours. As we get later and later in the night, the less likely it is that we're going to see severe storms and storms in general. So that's why we're most concerned about that area in brown from North Platte to Kearney with those supercell thunderstorms popping up. And you're also most likely in that area to see that line of storms form and move over you later in the night. And again, in that shade of brown, not ruling out up to golf ball size hail, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. And I hate to say it, but the chance for an EF0 or EF1 tornado is certainly not zero. Now, all of these threats are smaller the farther east you are. So the less likely you're going to see storms in general in Omaha and Lincoln. This could be a tricky situation. There still could be some isolated storms. I'm not worried about those supercells, though. And again, right now, the latest model is saying that line of storms may never reach you tonight. That said, there's still the possibility of a line of storms tomorrow. We have to discuss that next. So let's jump ahead now to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, not much going on. Dry across much of the state. There's going to be some crazy difference in temperatures tomorrow because the cold front has not cleared the eastern part of the state. So that's why look at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, those temperatures 40s and 30s over in the panhandle where there's possibility for a rain-snow mix. Got to mention the chance for a few showers starting to pop up again in the eastern part of the state, but still, this isn't a severe threat. A little bit better chance of rain as we get into the afternoon, but still not a whole lot. And it really is probably going to be the only place where it can get stormy is going to be the far eastern part of the state. Notice how the central part of the state largely staying dry. It's going to be another very windy day. The only difference, probably, we're not going to see 60 mile per hour wind gusts in the western part of the state, but I think everybody is still going to see gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour. And again, we could still reach around 80 degrees in the far eastern part of the state, but not nearly that warm for the rest of the state. We're talking about temperatures, notice an area of 60s and 50s, and then, highs only low 40s and upper 30s in the far western part of the state. So here we go with that front finally getting ready to clear Omaha and Lincoln. But before it does, we may see new storms fire up along it. So I'm most concerned during the evening hours, and particularly the farther east you live. So I got to leave in that chance for Lincoln, Omaha. Heavy rain, lightning, and yes, still the possibility of damaging wind and hail. Right now, it looks like the most likely time that could occur is about 9 o'clock. Notice everybody else in the state not worried about severe storms, but the far eastern part would say Lincoln, Omaha, gotta mention the chance. And your temperatures are going to be coming down on the other side of that front. Notice the severe threat is over by the time we get to 1 a.m., and there's still some isolated showers around, but those will wrap up during the overnight hours and set us up for a dry Sunday. So notice that the severe threat for tomorrow evening is only for Lincoln, Beatrice, Fremont, and it's slightly higher in Omaha. The farther east you live, the better chance of seeing storms and the better chance for a severe storm, possibly up to quarter-size hail, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and can't completely rule out, though the chance is very small, an EF0 or EF1 tornado. But if you're in Columbus, Grand Island, Kearney, there's a good chance you'll stay dry and certainly not worried about severe storms. It's all on if you're east of the cold front or not. So finally, after all that crazy and wild weather, we do get a dry day on Sunday, but it's not warm anymore. Everybody has cooled down, although I should mention the western part of the state will actually warm up, but a lot cooler in the eastern part of the state. A high of 62 in Omaha, 60 in Broken Bow, just 51 in Scottsbluff Sunday afternoon. Partly cloudy skies across the state. Can we catch a break from the wind? Well, better, but no, not completely. We're still looking at gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour across the state.